Good stuff. Good stuff. So we should probably transition.
Yeah, and get on our
into some
worst
music.
behavior.
I'll tell you what. Yeah, we did. I think we did my record first last week. So we'll go ahead and do your record. Just for the record, we did Cross's self-titled album last week and Childish Gambino's Camp album. Actually, before we get into this one, I haven't heard this story. I don't know anything about this, but tell me the story about you going to see Childish Gambino.
Oh, yeah. So Childish Gambino came to Oakland. Actually, by the time this airs, he came to Oakland last week, and he canceled his concert. But he's coming back May 6th. And, so they pretty much just canceled the concert because of technical difficulties.
What were the technical difficulties?
It was something like with lighting and sound and, like, maybe things going off and smoke. He really didn't tell that much. He just announced it on Twitter because at first the show was supposed to start at 8, and then they were like, oh, he's going on at 9. So I went and I got a drink before the show, and then people come in and they're like, oh, it's canceled. And I'm just like, man, that stinks, because I was listening to his music on the car on the way there, and I love his music. So it's just a little bit of a letdown, but still love Childish Gambino, Donald Glover. And he wrote a song on his newest album because of the internet. He wrote a song called Telegraph Avenue, which is in Oakland. And the chorus is, talking about, I was driving down the 5 and I was waiting for you to arrive in Oakland. That's terrible. If we were producing, if you were doing my vocals, then you shouldn't let me do that. But
yeah,
it sounds a lot better when he sings it, because I can rap a little bit. I don't think the viewers know that, maybe a few, but my singing voice is atrocious, like you just heard. But I can't rap.
Well, maybe on another podcast we'll tell another concert story, because I have a similar story about a concert that I didn't run the concert, but I was involved in helping it, and it's an interesting story.
Yeah, and I tried to meet Donald Glover last night. I was like hanging out by his tour bus for a while, but they said he wasn't going to come out. That he was like,
because they heard a fucking weird ass motherfucker like you was hanging outside of his tour bus. He didn't want to come outside. So.
Yeah, well, I was the last. I mean, there was lots of other weird Gambino fans out there. Not that it's a bad thing, but I don't know. I was just ready to hear some music. It makes me wonder if something's going on with him, because we've both made songs for each other. You can tell a lot about a person by the lyrics in their songs.
Oh, yeah.
Well, like, Donald's been talking about, I'm talking like I know him personally, even though I don't.
Donald would think this, and Donald would, he would go ask his Uncle McScrooge. He would go ask him for some money. It's like three little bratty kids, and sorry, go ahead.
No, but like the guy loves smoking weed, and he's got into smoking weed a lot more. He talks about that, but he also mentioned in his new CD about popping pills at Coachella, which, like, Coachella is like this. I just thought it was a music festival, but it's really a city out here in California in the middle of nowhere. Mm-hmm. And they have a huge music festival. Everybody from LA goes there for the weekend. Yeah. So he was talking about popping pills. So I don't know how safe it is to pop pills. Not safe at all. I do know that. I'm not a doctor, but you shouldn't pop pills without getting some kind of addiction. This is how rumors get started.
Yeah, this is all alleged. This is kind of related, but there's a really big thing right now about like a lot of musicians really almost, I don't know if glorifying is the right word, but discussing some pretty hardcore drug use in their music lately. Not that that's like a new thing. I mean, I'm not trying to say it's like a new thing that's going on, but definitely a lot more apparent. Like I listened to The Weeknd, who is associated with Drake's label. He's an R&B singer, and he fucking glorifies all kinds of crazy shit. Like, I mean, his whole 30-song record that he did, trilogy, was, I mean, most of the songs are about doing coke and fucking doing all kinds of pills and getting crazy. And that's all right, man. If you live that life, you live that life. Don't hate the player, hate the game.
Yeah. it's
In the
kind of
Galaxy Podcast.
GokuWayGalaxy.com.
Yeah.
No, but that's kind of a transition too. Is Janae Aiko? Have you heard of her, Jay?
No.
Oh
Is she on
well,
the Drake record?
yes.
Yes.
And she's also on Childish Gambino's new record. I think they both kind of have a war going on with her. Like, well, I mean, she's cool as hell, but they both probably would be lucky to date her. But she's just really chill. Janae,
Yeah.
if you're listening out there, what's up? Gilky Way Podcast. But,
All right.
okay, never mind.
Let's stop fucking around. Let's get to this Drake record.
But I'm transitioning. Janae Aiko sings a song on It's the one where it's like, "What's up?
Yeah.
You've been da-da-da-da-da." Well, she talks about how she came up with that, and she said that basically she got really high, and she just started freestyling it.
But yeah,
put it on the album.
Let's get into this review because I have a theory about that song. But go ahead.
Okay.
I mean, I know we're starting with this record, but who's going first here?
Yeah. So let me just. Okay. Got my notes, my paper notes in the digital age. All right. I'm just going to start out with some songs because after listening to this Drake album again, I don't thumbs up all of them. Sorry, Drake. But I do like a lot of them.
All the songs?
Yeah, I don't like every song on here.
Okay. Go ahead. Sorry. Yeah.
The song I'd like to start with is Language. I do like that song. It kind of shows how selfish Drake is. I'll spit a little bit of lyrics. This is from Aubrey Drake Graham. I don't know why they've been lying, but all your shit is not that inspiring.
Okay.
Bank account statements look like they're ready for early retirement.
You're offending me. You're making me hate the record because of what you've just done. Just read.
Well, yeah, I like the line where he says, bank account statements look like I'm ready for early retirement. And then he says, I'm about to roll one and light it, and no one's invited. That's kind of selfish, Drake. You should pass that around. I got to kill all this weak people excited. I send all my money to banks in the islands and eat with Italians I do. His flow is a little different, but I really like those lines. And he just says, I just want some head in a comfortable bed. Well, good for you, Drake.
Yeah,
So,
I mean,
I like the beat to that mostly.
That song is that's definitely an interesting song. Actually, I hate that song. That flow shows to me that he was trying. I don't know. I don't want to get too much into my thoughts. Just go ahead.
No, go for it. Go for it.
Well, I just think that this record was really about Drake being different. You know, he was trying to set himself apart.
Leader of the new school, so he's quoted as saying that.
Yeah, I mean, you know, he's trying to push the rap game, push the whole rap scene, and there's parts in this record where he does really, really, really good at doing that.
Yeah.
But then there's that song when he comes in with that flow that I'm just like, what the fuck are you doing, dude? Like this is real weird. He's trying to cram like way too many words into this this many bars, which kind of is what hip hop is. But yeah, that song definitely not a high point for me. But I'm sorry, continue with what you're saying.
No, so basically I liked the song Language. I'm not too big on the chorus. I like All Me. Like when he comes in with his line, he said, I touched down in 86. I knew I was a man by the age of 6. Used to bang a girl. I used to babysit, but that was years later off some crazy shit. I heard your shit, hated it. Damon Wayans, homie, don't play that shit. I got paid a lot. You get paid a bit. And my latest shit is like a greatest hits. I got that. Ain't no wishing over on this side. You don't fuck with this. You don't fuck with y'all. It's no different on the other side. I got that. Should listen to everybody on myself because myself just told myself, you're the motherfucking man. I don't need your help. Cashing checks and I'm banging on my chest.
Michael, we don't need you to rap the song. We do not need you to perform the song. Number one, I think you've just broken copyright rules for performing someone else's song.
Can you...
Just don't even go there. Just don't even go there. Just read the lyrics. Tell us what you thought about the song.
Oh.
I love you.
He said, I like this. I like the line where he says, just understand that I'm on a roll like Cottonelle. I was made for all this shit. in my box office. Isn't that clever?
No, that's not a good line. That's a terrible. That's so cheesy.
I think
It's
it's
so
clever. I
stupid.
think it's so clever.
Oh God.
What's his last one? Oh no, I like the end. No, tell me if this is cheesy or not. This next one.
What is him comparing himself to a garment company, a la
Toilet
Cottonelle?
tissue.
What is that saying? Oh yeah, they are. I'm sorry, I just fucking fucked up. I was thinking like Fruit of the Loom or something. Cottonelle. First of all, it's tissues. He's comparing himself to tissues. What is that
Toilet paper.
saying? What is it saying about?
Because toilet paper wipes your ass.
No, I don't know what it is. But what does that say? What commentary is he bringing to society or something like that? And no, I'm not. I'm not saying that all hip hop music needs to compare that. You can talk about this hip hop lifestyle of riches and glamour, and I'm the shit, and I'm the best, and this and
Yeah, a
that.
lot of his stuff is about him being rich, and it's just like, wait a minute, you started from the bottom, but you grew up with a pool in your yard. That's not really starting from the bottom, son. But a lot of people mention that.
Yeah. So hang on. I want to make one quick point. When you hear stuff like that, and then you hear songs that other rappers do that talk about, uh, you know, what's that song? I can't remember the name of the song, but on the Watch the Throne record with Kanye and Jay-Z, where they said,
Click or
no, that's
words
not.
in Paris.
No, I can't remember what the song is, but it goes, it's something like the Holocaust, millions of our people lost. That whole song was about
Oh,
black on black violence, and I think maybe Chicago. I can't remember, but that song was really powerful. I mean, that
oh
song
yeah.
was had some good social commentary. Just kind of drawing a comparison between black on black violence in inner cities and comparing yourself to a fucking Kleenex or tissue like
Toilet
Cottonelle.
paper.
Toilet paper. I'm
Maybe
sorry.
that just to wrap up that point, maybe that does prove that his rap was shit. Literally. That he was talking about.
Okay,
But
continue. I'm sorry.
I like how he ends it with this last one. Tell me this. See if this makes a contribution to society. Pardon me for my table manners. I was making room for all the table dancers. Because if we're judging off your advances, then I got paid like 8 advances. I think a lot of it is the beats are so good that it makes up for it. Being honest there.
You hit on such an important topic, and I have
Yeah.
similar information in my notes, but continue.
Yeah, so I like that song, All Me, but I think it's kind of selfish. You had Wheezy help you out, you had Degrassi help you out, you had a lot of people help you out, so it's not all you. Let me see. Own It, the song Own It, I just wrote thumbs down. Furthest Thing from Perfect, I actually thumbs down that. Good beat, but Wu-Tang Forever, I gave that one a thumbs down. I don't know. I just didn't feel it that much. Tuscan Leather, great beat. I don't know if it's necessarily a good opener for the track album, but it does set a tone for the rest of the album. He keeps that tone. I wrote down some lines from that I thought was clever. Tom Ford, Tuscan Leather, Smelling Like a Brick, Degenerates, but even Ellen love our shit. So he mentioned he makes a play off of the word degenerates, as in Degeneration X from wrestling, professional wrestling, and then Ellen DeGeneres, degenerates. I thought that was clever in Tuscan Leather.
Yeah.
Speakers. Oh, and there's also some cool mixing stuff that he does with that, like kind of the speakers fade at half the capacity at one point, and then they come back. I really like when stuff messes with you in the sound settings. I think that's pretty cool. The song that I loved was Too Much, featuring, that's the guy Sampa. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but I love that chorus. Don't think about it too much. There's no need to rush it through. Don't think about it too much. This is more than just a new lust for you. And at first, I thought it was new love for you. So it could be lust, love, interesting. But it's just, I love that chorus because it talks about like the knew something. Um, you know, um, yeah, great chorus. And I think his stuff where he talks about family a lot. I like it when he talks about family in that song. Um, someone tell Noel to go to get to the backwoods. Money has my whole family going backwards. No dinners, no holidays, no nothing. Then there's issues at hand we're not discussing. I did not sign up for this. My uncle used to have all these things on his bucket list. Now he's acting like, oh, well, this is life, I guess. Nah, F that shiz. Listen, man, you could do what you want to do. You got to trust that shiz. Heard once that in dire times when you need a sign, that's when they appear. Guess since my text message didn't resonate, I'll just say it here. Hate the fact that my mom cooped up in her apartment, telling herself that she's too sick to get dressed up and do shit like that's true shit. All my family from the M town that I've been around started treating me like I'm him now. Like we don't know each other, we ain't grow together, we're just friends now. Shit got me feeling pinned down. Pick the pin up or put the pin down. I'm writing you from a distance, a pen pal, but we've been down now.
Okay.
Something like, yeah. But he talks about family issues, and everybody has family issues, but I think for him to put that in his song and throw that out there to the public is a move toward that, like that commentary on black violence from the Kanye West song that you mentioned.
He's always been really self-aware of kind of inviting listeners into his personal life. It's not all, even though I criticized him for not really criticize. Well, yeah, I guess I did criticize him for being all about glamour and, money, bitches and hoes and all that stuff. But, he does have quite a reputation for being very, I don't know, a very much an open book. And I respect that because that's something you don't really see. You don't really see a lot of hip hop artists let their guard down. He's caught a lot of flack for that too, for being a lot. So it seems like the hip hop community is kind of torn on Drake. Like half of them think he's kind of a pussy, and half of them like really respect him. So
yeah, and I mean, I'll kind of touch more on worst behavior. I think what I like most about worst behavior is the confidence. I'm going to touch more on that and kind of tie that into the next album. But I'd like to focus on that theme of family, of when he's talking about with evidently from this song, his dad left as a kid and, single mom, and evidently went away for a while. And evidently the dad reconnected with him. And he's talking about he's really into this girl, and he's talking to her about his dad. Like him and his dad have just reconnected, and he likes the girl so much that he's talking about the girl to his dad. So he says, F it, we had a couple Coronas. We might have rolled a white paper, just something to hold us. We even talked about you in our couple of moments. He said we should hash it out like a couple of grown-ups. You're a flower child, beautiful child. I'm in your zone, looking like you came from the 70s on your own. My mother is 66, and her favorite line to hit me with is, who the F wants to be 70 and alone? You don't even know what you want from love anymore. I search for something I'm missing. I disappear when I'm bored. But girl, what qualities was I looking for before? Who are you settling for? Who better for you than your boy, huh? And then Janae Aiko comes in with, what's up? It's been a minute since we kicked it, since you've been caught up, blah, 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 blah.
So I want to talk about this song just a little bit and get your opinion, because I actually skipped over the song in my notes because I'm not a huge fan of the song, but and I feel like it was worth touching on. But every time I've listened to the song, I've had kind of this theory. But Drake, even on his past records, on "Thank Me Later," is that his first record? Yeah, his first full length record. His first full length record was "Thank Me Later," or "Thank Me Now," whatever it was. But anyways, he's always had this kind of ongoing thing, or I don't know if it's for a storyline or whatever, if it's real, if it's not real. But this thing with Nicki Minaj, where he's in one song on his first full length record, he talks about
getting married to her.
We might as well get married. Yeah. And then, he was in a song on her record. And then I guess they had a falling out, so much so that on Tuscan Leather, he talks about how
Dropping the ball with
well
Nick.
they haven't taught they have dropped the ball. They haven't spoken in a while. He has a commentary on how hard is it to leave like a voicemail or something like that, and all this stuff. And I have a theory that maybe that this girl in the song singing might represent Nicki Minaj, and he obviously represents him. And they have some sort of it's them having some sort of conversation with one another. But this is a theory.
Yeah, well, to tie into that, he's got so many girls that he's dated. I looked up, there's a lyric where he mentions Courtney from Hooters on Peachtree Street, that she's the piece to complete me. So he mentions that in his album. And I looked up, I researched that. I'm like, Courtney from Peachtree Street? Well, it's in Atlanta. I think, Atlanta, Georgia. And after he dropped that, this girl got hit up on her Twitter. They looked up and they found out who she was, where she worked. She had to, I think, deactivate her Instagram and stuff. So,
Yeah.
I mean, he drops a lot of girls' names on this. And he even talks about, like, falling in love with a stripper in one album, and a girl that is dancing her way through school and her tuition is handled by some other guy. So this guy paying her way through school. But, I mean, that's interesting about Nicki Minaj. I mean, who knows what happened there?
Yeah, it's just a theory. I don't think it holds any weight, but it's interesting to listen to that song with that idea and that perspective.
Yeah. Yeah, because he did an interview recently. He said he's looking for a girl to build something with.
Yeah.
And then the interviewer said, "Oh, you mean like a relationship, a girlfriend?" He goes, No, not a girlfriend. I just want a girl to build something." And I'm just like, man.
We talked about that last podcast, actually.
Yeah. But I mean, it's just like, man, Drake, you gotta settle down, brother.
So any more you want to cover on this record before you give your final grade?
I just really enjoy listening to some songs on here and others just not so much. Too much about money. I guess I like that, about getting real and stuff.
Yeah.
I feel like he showed a lot of maturation in this album. Like he's kind of, popped bottles and all this stuff, and this has shown him grow as an artist. I would recommend listening to the song Trophies that didn't make the album in time. It was a beat that Childish Gambino almost got. But I'd have to say final grade for this album, I'll give it a B for me, my opinion. I think it's a B. It's not an A, but it's a B. He's the leader of the new school, so he's shaping what's in the future.
Cool.
And that brings us to...
Yes, sir. So I want to give a little bit of a backstory with me and Drake. I really enjoyed his first mixtape with Best I Ever Had on it. That's kind of, like a lot of people got introduced to him that way. Really liked kind of where he was going with that. I liked it. He had some swagger about him. And he was doing something that I think other rappers have done, obviously, but he's kind of found a niche with mixing his raps and his melodies better than I think a lot of other rappers do. Like, he can have a song where he's singing like a really smooth melody and then he goes into a rap and it kind of flows in and out like almost as good as just anybody does it, man. And I think that's really cool that he does that. And he's very diverse on his record. He might have, the club jam on his record, the pop hit on his record, but then he's got like some slow jams thrown in there, and I just really like that because I really love slow jams. I love R&B and smooth vocals and stuff like that. And he's not the greatest singer in the world, but he delivers really well on that. The Thank Me Later, Thank Me Now, whatever that record's called.
Thank Me Later, yeah.
His full-length record. Really like that record. Love that record. I think there's a lot of kind of the same kind of picked up where that mixtape left off. Big fan of that one. His second record, I fucking hated that record. I could never listen to that record. The one that's
Take Care.
Yeah, Marvin's Room on it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like I don't like that record. And almost fell off the Drake bandwagon with that record. I know a lot of people like it. I still care for it. But then when he came out with this one, man, I listened to it a lot, and as we talked about last podcast, we've been listening to this one for quite a while. But
Yeah.
just to go into my review, I, this is why I love this podcast, Michael, because even on stuff that we both listen to quite a bit,
Yeah.
we have very differing opinions. Because what I'm picking up from your review is you like kind of the second half of this record quite a bit, actually. The second, the last probably 6 tracks on this record, you were feeling them. And
Oh, I love Pound Cake. Yeah, Pound Cake.
all of those tracks that you talked about, I didn't even write them down in my notes because I love the first half of this record. I absolutely love the first half of this record, and I hate the second half of this record. I hate it. I think it's terrible. But I'll just start. I mean, Tuscan Leather, kind of like what you said. I battled with whether or not this was a good opening track for a really long time. I was like, I don't know if I like the track, but I don't know if it's a good first track, and I battled around with it. But I think when I started listening to it to make my notes on this record, I decided it's a good first track. And like a lot of the songs on this record, it's kind of like 2 or 3 songs in one. Like the song comes in with this really interesting drop beat. It's a 40 beat, and like a lot of 40 beats, he has really kind of toned down, muted, bass, kick parts and snares and stuff like that. And he's got like a really weird flow. It almost sounds like the flow doesn't even really go with the beat that well.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
But then about maybe a minute and a half into the song, that beat, he kind of it builds up and he starts to transition, and you hear a click. And that click, it sounds almost like somebody's hitting the tape player, like the record's really starting. And if people haven't picked up on it, go back and listen to the record or this song and listen to when that click comes in, because as soon as that click comes in, that beat drops hard as a fucking brick. And that beat is thick and it is heavy and it's awesome. And he starts to really flow. One thing that got kind of weird with the song for me is the fact that it's a really long first song, and he actually makes he makes comment on that, which is kind of tongue in cheek, which I think is funny. He says, "How long is this going to spin on the intro?" I think it's funny that he makes light of that because it's like 6 minutes long. It clocks in really long. When the beat does get a bit heavier, it kind of has a little bit of a 90s hip hop kind of flavor, almost like, some, I'm trying to think of some
Beastie Boys or Run DMC or.
No, not really Run DMC. Kind of has a little bit of a Beastie vibe to it. Just kind of, it's just a thick beat, and the melody in the beat is actually really kind of weird. It's not like a lot of modern melodies have a lot of synths and stuff in it, and they go up and down and up and down. This one kind of had more of a toned down melody until the last third of the track. It actually switches to a more modern beat, which has a more up and down synth part to it. It's really neat. It kind of takes you for a ride in terms of, I don't know if maybe 40 was thinking about this when he was making the beat itself, but it really goes from classic beats to modern beats. And that's an interesting way to look at it. But it transitions into Furthest Thing really good. I have a love-hate relationship with the song Furthest Thing. It's another song where it's 2 songs. It's 2 songs into one song.
Yeah.
The first half of that song, I love it. I absolutely love it. It's got that smooth Drake feel to it where it's almost like a slow jam, and he's got this really funky kind of groove going on, this really funky melody. And his delivery is great and stuff, but man, like you said, I would say most of this record it's Drake, but it is showing off how great of a producer 40 is. I mean, some of the beats on this record are absolutely incredible. But I love this song. There's a part in
I made a note about the hi-hat, just how like it was going lightning fast.
Yeah. There's he does some cool things with the melody. At one point, he kind of pays homage to R. Kelly when he says, I stay reminiscing and make up sex in the kitchen. I mean, that's an homage to Remix to Ignition. I always thought it was really funny. And I just love the first half of this song. That's the love part. The hate part is the fact that the first half of the song is about maybe 2 minutes or so. And then I swear to God, it's not even where Tuscan Leather was kind of multiple songs into one. They do flow. You can make it out that it is one song. Furthest Thing is seriously 2 different songs. Like, I love the first half, and the second half, if it was its own standalone song, I would like it. But the fact that it's still called Furthest Thing and it's not the first half of the song makes me just so annoyed that I'm like, why did you do that? Why did you have to switch it up?
So you think they should have split that?
Yeah, they should have split it. I mean, it would have annoyed me even more, I guess, if that song was only 2 minutes and maybe he was just like, I'm kind of over this beat. Let's just add this part onto it. I don't understand why they did it like that, but they did it, and it annoyed me. But the next song, Started from the Bottom, it's obviously, I think it was maybe the second single on this record. It might have been the lead single.
Yeah.
Here's the thing: is this song it's a club song. I mean, it's one of the most straightforward songs on the record. It's got a straightforward beat, straightforward delivery. Doesn't do anything interesting, but as non-complex as it is, it's a great song, man. I mean, it is a great track, and there's a lot of people out there that listen to music and they say, "Oh, that's a really simple song. That's that's this or that." You can critique something all day, but at the end of the day, you have to sit back and say, do I like the song? Yes, I like the song. Therefore, it's a good song. If you like a song and you enjoy it, it's a good song. Don't break it down.
And I mean, with that song, it's got a groove and bass line. It's got that just pulsating, and then it's got the hi-hat and the snare, like really fast, hitting hard, and then it tightens up with the hi-hat some. And all of that just pieced together is just amazing. It just makes you want to be like,
great beat. Yeah. It's a great beat. The next track, Wu-Tang Forever, not my favorite song. Another great beat. It's got a signature slow jam and rap feel to it. But as a whole, not my favorite track on the record, but I can definitely listen to it. Own It, which you gave a thumbs down to, is actually my favorite track on the entire record. I love the song. It flows well from the previous. In fact, he uses the sample, that the Own It sample. He says the Own It. He uses that in Wu-Tang Forever, and then it actually transitions over in the next song, obviously. And I just think it's a really good song, mainly for the beat. Again, 40 showing off like that. This is just as much a 40 record, even though he didn't produce every single track on the record. It's just as much a 40 record as it is a Drake record.
40 defined his sound. I mean, 40's been making the beats since Best I Ever Had, man. I mean, they're a team, dude.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, the song is incredible. I love the beats, or the beat on the song. They come in and out, and I love the line. Well, the song in terms of subject matter, again, not really social commentary, but it almost, to me, what I'm reading into it is that he's owning up to the responsibilities of maybe impregnating a woman or having a kid.
Oh, guess whose it is? Guess whose it is?
Yeah, and at one point he has a really funny line that I always have to laugh at, where he says, "Girls try to have me on Maury like it's yours." Like, I just think that's a really funny line. But going on here. Let's see, Worst Behavior. Again. Here's the thing about this song. It's one of the worst rap songs I've ever heard. I love it. I love the song. But in the entire song, he maybe actually raps 20% of the song. The rest of it, he's just repeating the same phrase over and over and over again, which is one thing I hate about popular rap in general. But it is a good song because the beat's so good.
Did you get that clip about why he said that he had to say it? That I Snapchatted you?
Yeah, I saw it, but it sounded like horseshit to me. It sounded like he was just making up some shit for an interview he was doing.
They used to never want to see us. I just feel like I had to say it. I couldn't sing it. That's exactly how he said it.
And this song, which I get this, you talked about it a little bit, but I can't get behind when he's talking about the hard times and the
Yeah.
difficulties he's had. And I don't like when he tries to put on a tough guy act. Like, I'm like, dude, you're fucking Drake. Like, you're not Rick Ross. You're not
Yes.
fucking
Kanye, Lil Wayne. I mean,
when he says stuff like, bitch, you better have my money for I come for the shit like ODB. Like, who you threatening, Aubrey? Who are you threatening? With your bodyguard? I don't understand. Like, what is this about? So that kind of annoyed me. But I
well,
just
I
got
mean, he talks about a hard time that he said, like, I had to wake up at 5 a.m. to shoot Degrassi on Morningside. He actually said that.
no. I don't like that. But
I know, it's terrible. I mean, it's
just
just like, yeah, sorry, you got paid lots of money for that show.
but yeah. So the last song I'm gonna review, or the
Cake,
last
cake,
track.
cake, cake, pound cake.
No, I didn't. Every song after "Hold On, We're Going Home," I don't even listen to it. It's just, I mean, I've listened to them before, but to me personally, it's the second half of the record for
Can you
me
list
is
those songs for our viewers?
not as strong for me. Songs like "Pound Cake" and "All Me," is that the song?
Yeah.
All Me, and trying to think of some of the other ones. There's one about some city, something about a city. I can't
Oh,
remember.
305 to My City.
Yeah, like all the songs, I'm just not feeling them as much. But "Hold On,
Yeah.
We're Going Home." I mean, that's an incredible song. It's a great pop song. I love the '80s vibe. It's
Which
catchy as hell.
the Arctic Monkeys cover that for a BBC radio. It's awesome. You should check it out sometime.
It's catchy as hell. I love the Enya like in the background. I think that part makes the song. It's
Yeah.
just really really good. But bottom line for me, the album, you know, as much as I don't like the second half of the album, the first half of the album is so strong for me. Like
Oh wow.
it really impressed me. Like it's a really impressive album, and I think he has a really strong place in the hip hop community. I think he's pushing people. He's pushing
Yes.
people for diversity. I think he's pushing people for the content that they actually put on. I mean, he does have the flashiness, and the star aspect of it, and he's got all that stuff that a hip hop guy wants.
Oh
But
yeah.
he is definitely asking something of the hip hop community to,
He
hey,
said I studied the game to the letter and I'm not doing it the same. I'm doing it better.
and here's my thing. Here's my thing about Drake for this record though, and it goes back to the whole: is it a Drake record or is it a 40 record? Drake Drake was an actor. He grew up, he came into stardom as an actor, and in
Yes.
my opinion, uh, he's an actor on this record. Okay, he gave a great performance, and he performed for what someone else made for him. As
Ah,
in the way a director writes a script and a producer pays for it and whatnot, and they have this vision and an editor edits it together. 40 had that vision. 40 produced him. 40 directed him to act in this way and
Noah 40 Shabib.
and to give this delivery. And that's what Drake did. Here in this record, he gave an Oscar-winning, in quotations, performance on this record. Like, is Drake as a rapper, as a hip hop artist, outside of just some of the stuff that he's bringing in his diversity, which can be led back to the production, or in his what he's actually saying, would that stand the test of time by himself? Maybe, I don't know, but the things that make this record legendary, in my opinion, is the fact that it was great production on 40's part and Drake together. Math and science go hand in hand, and they are they are one and the same.
And they got some chemistry too.
And them together is what made this record for me. Final grade on it, I'm going to actually give it a B plus. I'm not a gigantic hip hop fan. I love hip hop. I like really genuine rap music and hip hop.
What about
But for me,
Genuine?
not so much. But this is it's a great record. Oh, and I do have to give a shout out to on Worst Behavior. He like in Wu-Tang Forever, he takes some Wu-Tang stuff. He's paying homage to Wu-Tang Clan, and he did the R. Kelly thing and Own It. But in Worst Behavior, he has a Puff Daddy, P Diddy slash Mace line in it where he goes, "Who's hot? Who's not?"
Yeah, yeah, I forgot about that.
That part is the part's really funny, and I like that. I think stuff like that's cool. But yeah, I applaud Drake. Good job. Good record. Not I don't like all the tracks on it, but there on a lot of rap records that I listen to, I might like 3 tracks on it. So I mean, he did. I applaud him for making me come back to it. I listen to it every single day. That's how
Oh
good of a
wow.
record it is for me. So
Yeah, wow, I didn't know that. Just I read a Rolling Stone article about him, and he talks about sleeping on a blow-up mattress, like just in the studio, just staying in there, working on it all summer in the studio, this and that. So I mean, I also heard rumor that he was supposed to have the Rolling Stone cover, but Philip Seymour Hoffman died,
right,
and he didn't get the cover. And Drake was like, "I should have got the cover," you know. Forget
yeah.
this guy that just died. I need to do more research into that, obviously, but probably something you should. It's probably something you should do before you start a podcast.